What up, YouTubers? Reezonoticz back once again, man. I told you I'm back. I told you I'm making videos like a crazy man. Now that everything's calmed down. This video is a couple of reasons why I think TNA is superior to WWE in the wrestling world at this given moment. All right. It is no surprise I am a TNA fan. I am not a WWE fan. However, I try my best not to be biased towards any one company and just observe wrestling as it is. Okay. Let's just get right into it. All right, first of all, first reason I believe TNA is better than WWE roster. Okay, WWE has, bro. This is just off the top of my head. WWE has hundreds of wrestlers, so much so that they have a secondary show in SmackDown, and then a third show where they used to be ECW until they closed that down and made it NXT, where it's basically rookies trying out. All right. Out of all those wrestlers in the WWE roster, I can count on my hand, or maybe on one hand. And I'm being dead honest. I'm not being biased. On one hand, I can count the wrestlers that not only have mass appeal to the audience, to the wrestling audience, but they can also work in the ring. All right, let me see. Undertaker, Triple H, Randy Orton, John Morrison. See what I'm saying? Right now I'm drawing a blank, all right? And it's not because I don't watch WWE as often as I watch TNA. I still know their roster pretty good. I'll tell you right now, WWE let go of one guy that was a hell of a wrestler that they never used the right way. And you know who I'm talking about, Shelton Benjamin. That was a hell of a wrestler they let go for no apparent reason. Oh, because they didn't have anything for him. And that's because their creative team has their heads up their butts and don't write good storylines and good angles for guys who deserve it, all right? Look at TNA's roster. Bro, I can just off the top of my head without even thinking. AJ Styles, Kazarian, Beer Money Inc., the entire Fortune group, excuse me, Matt Morgan, Hernandez, Homicide, Amazing Red, Sting, Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, the ECW crew that's there now with RBD, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, and Rhino, the Motor City Machine Guns, Douglas Williams. Bro, all the guys that I just mentioned, whether young or old, still have a lot to offer to the wrestling game as far as in-ring skills, mic skills, just overall presence, okay? Samoa Joe, I don't even like him. I can't stand Samoa Joe, but he is better in the ring than the majority of the WWE guys that with the exception of the ones that I just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big reason for me that TNA is superior. The roster. Okay, when you look at TNA's roster, it's not so blown up where it's got hundreds and hundreds of wrestlers, and it's like anything else in life. When you have so much of any given thing, the more you have of it, the more room there is for average to below average. Okay? The smaller number you have, the more potential you have for your stars to shine. Okay, so that's one thing. Um, that's that. Okay, that's the roster. I'm sorry, I had a text message there. That was probably Mercury. Okay, second reason. Okay, the in-ring work itself. When you watch a WWE match, okay, again, I'm trying to be unbiased, but I'm gonna call it down the middle as I see it. The majority, not all, the majority of WWE matches that you watch every week on Raw. I don't even count SmackDown because SmackDown has. Quick side note: SmackDown has become irrelevant. And it's been irrelevant for years, okay? SmackDown went the way of WCW Thunder. If you remember when WCW had Nitro, when they first debuted Thursday Night Thunder, it was like the second Nitro. It was off the chain. You had to watch Thunder just like you watched Nitro. Same thing with SmackDown when it debuted in the late 90s, or whenever it was, 97, 98, I think. When it debuted, it was hot. It was the second Raw. You watched SmackDown just like you watched Raw every week. For years now, SmackDown has been the joke show, okay? Just garbage. I can't even, and I've watched it every once in a while, and I can't even tell you anyone on that roster that means a damn thing to the wrestling business besides maybe Undertaker, maybe Kane. That's it. Who else is on SmackDown? So okay, that's the thing. Now going back to what I was saying, the in-ring work. When you watch a WWE match, and I've heard other people say this, and I agree. It starts off like this. The wrestlers circle each other, grapple, headlock, couple seconds, maybe even a minute. Off the ropes, another grapple, set of reverses, another hold. Couple minutes, maybe a big move or two, or an exchange back and forth, one punch, another punch back and forth, another hold. Finishing move, end of the match. Okay, that is boring. Okay, I watch that and I'm like, dude, and especially when they do it with people like Randy Orton who can wrestle. I'm not even a Randy Orton fan, but I respect the dude. He can wrestle. Okay, or Triple H, or now, I understand with Cena because Cena's garbage in the ring. But, they got, John Morrison, who's an amazing talent. They even have him caught up in some of that garbage. When you watch a TNA match, it could be the main event or the opening match of the show. Their matches are well paced, diverse in the moves and the attacks that are used during the match. And they got just enough spots, big spots in the match that make the audience go crazy, okay? That's the difference as far as in-ring work goes. Another reason for me that TNA is better is the storylines. When you look at WWE storylines, when was the last time WWE had a storyline? I'm asking myself, when was the last time WWE had a storyline that really fascinated me? Man, to tell you the truth, the last time that I remember watching a WWE program and being intrigued by the storyline was back all the way to, I think it was 2001 or something like that, when Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin had tagged up and they were the two-man power trip. You know what I'm saying? That was interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? That was cool. Now, what's the storyline now? Nexus. Nexus was a good concept that was done horribly wrong. Why? Okay, first of all, you got 7 nobodies. Nobodies, okay? I understand they're trying to put heat on them and trying to get them recognized, but look, the reality is, these 7 guys, I mean, who the hell is Wade Barrett? Who the hell? The rest of them, I can't even tell you their names. You know what I'm saying? And the funny part is these are 7 nobodies. When you look at them, they don't even have a cohesive look. They don't even look the part of big-time main event wrestlers. They look like 7 wrestling school rejects. I mean, for real. What's up with the black dude who looks like a black Goldberg with the black thing covering his mouth? It's like a mixture between the Pope D'Angelo De Niro and Goldberg. Or the other buff dude with the clothesline as his finishing move, who looks like he wasn't done developing before he was born. They look like nobodies, and they are nobodies. That's why the whole emphasis on this storyline is on Team Raw, because those are the established dudes that we want to see. I mean, and that's the ones. On the other storyline, Kane and his brother, The Undertaker, are we really supposed to believe The Undertaker's dead? I mean, that's like back in the day when they tried to make us think that Vince was dead, that Vince had gotten killed. Get out of here, man. When you look at TNA storylines, I mean, let's look at the storylines they've had for the last couple of weeks. Sting becoming a heel, and everybody went crazy for it. The whole ECW thing, even though I'm not a fan of ECW, it made you want to watch every day to see if they were going to show up, what was going to go on. The top 10 contenders ranking, we know that that's not really by fan voting. That's all fixed, just like the rest of the storylines. But you still want to tune in to see who's moved up, who's moved down, who's facing each other. When you look at now Sting and Nash teaming up together, and Sting coming back with the red and black face paint, Wolfpack style, that is awesome. When you look at what's going on with Ric Flair and his new group, Fortune, with AJ Styles, Kazarian, and Beer Money Inc. When you look at the Motor City Machine Guns and their Best of 5 series with Beer Money Inc. When you look at the trying to do a face turn for Mr. Ken Anderson, who's always been a heel, and still to this day he's trying to win over some of his enemies and show them that he's different. You want to see where that goes. You know what I'm saying? The storylines in TNA are more thought provoking, but not so much drama and talk that it takes away from the action in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So I'm running out of time. Those are a couple of reasons why I think TNA is better than WWE. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on WWE. I love wrestling, period. But when I watch the two, I see TNA having a hunger and passion for the sport and for the industry, and trying to do the best in their damnness to put out a good product. They don't always succeed, but at least you can see the effort. And I see WWE just coasting along like, hey, we're number one. We don't need to put out quality programming. People are going to watch us no matter what. And that's a problem, okay? Because eventually, if you continue with that mind state, that frame of mind, you will fall. All the greatest empires in history have been like that. Rome was a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? So that's just an example. But they fell for the same reason. You know, thinking we're on top of the world, nobody can touch us, and then bam. You know what I'm saying? WCW took it to them back in the day. So that's just some of my reasons, man. I got